Welcome back to the kitchen, guys. Today we're working on what I think is maybe the world's most underrated condiment. It's called Toum. What it is, if you haven't heard of it, it's an emulsified garlic and oil sauce with a little bit of lemon. It's very simple, only 4 ingredients. It takes about 10 minutes to make, but just not enough people know about it. It's light as a cloud. It's literally like pillowy soft. It's so packed with flavor, and it goes great on everything. Now, it's a classic Middle Eastern sauce, so it's often served with things like kebabs and shawarma, which it obviously works great on, but any kind of grilled meat it goes really well on. I love it on pork chops. You can as a sandwich topping. I use it as a pizza sauce sometimes. You can dip veggies in it. You can even great in place of like blue cheese or ranch for dipping chicken wings. It's just such a versatile sauce, so delicious. Who doesn't love a garlic-based sauce? And like I said, 4 ingredients and 10 minutes. I'm gonna show you how it's done the simplest way, the foolproof method. Let's get started. Start with our most important ingredient, obviously, that is garlic. Now, I am starting with peeled cloves today. I highly recommend you do that for this sauce. Buy peeled cloves at the grocery store so you don't have to go through, because we need a full cup and you don't wanna waste all day peeling garlic. Also, there is an advantage to this. When these cloves are outside of the bulb, they don't sprout. And if they don't sprout, they don't get a germ inside. And the germ can be a little bit bitter. A lot of people, when they're using garlic that's coming right out of the bulb, will cut these in half and like peel the germ out, but it takes forever. So buy pre-peeled garlic and it's gonna be way easier and it's actually gonna taste better. The only thing we do have to remove is the little root end, just because we don't want any woody bits in our sauce. So just peel those off, real simple. Our garlic is prepped. Now let's get ready to make our sauce. It's so quick and easy. I decided to actually show you 2 methods today. Not 2 methods, but 2 styles of this sauce. We're gonna start with the traditional, which I'm gonna make here. After this, I'm gonna make what I call crushable Toum. It's a way that I came up with. It's sort of my secret method of mellowing the garlic a little bit before we make the sauce, and that makes it so you can just slather it on anything as much as you want and you won't smell like garlic for a week. But we're gonna start with the traditional right here. This is an emulsified sauce, which means, if you're not familiar with that, it means we're taking a water-based ingredient in the form of lemon juice and we are mixing it with oil. The problem being that oil and water don't mix, so you need what's called an emulsifying agent, which will bind the oil with the water and make a fluffy sauce. That is what's in our garlic. It naturally has emulsifiers in it, but they're kind of weaker emulsifiers, and a lot of people struggle to get an emulsion with this sauce, to have it not break on them and separate into oil and lemon juice. But it's really not that hard. I've come up with a foolproof method that will get you a good solid emulsion every time, and it starts with this, a stick blender. If you don't have a stick blender, you can also do this with a mortar and pestle. So we're gonna go into a tall container with our garlic. We're also gonna do a 1/4 cup of our lemon juice, all of our salt. Now, you might notice that was 3 ingredients and oil is 4, and I did call it a 4 ingredient sauce, which traditionally it is, but optionally you can use a little 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, not much. It just balances out the acid a little bit. So that's my own thing. You can add it if you want or leave it out to make it a true 4 ingredient sauce. Now, the reason people struggle with this is actually made in a food processor. But what happens is you put all your garlic in the food processor, you turn it on, it sticks to the sides of the processor. Doesn't matter how many times you scrape it down and do it again and again and again, you never actually get it to emulsify until you start adding your oil. That means you're starting without an emulsion, so sometimes you'll never get one. It'll just break on you immediately. But this way, we're gonna create an emulsion up front, transfer it to our food processor, and we'll be ready to go, and it works every time. So just get your stick blender. Like I said, also a mortar and pestle will work. Just takes a little more elbow grease. I like electricity. And we're gonna blend this up. It's as simple as that. Now we've started with a garlic emulsion, and we won't have to worry as much when we start adding the oil. I'm gonna bring in my food processor right now, and we'll move on. Food processor's up. Pardon, guys, I'm sure you can see my other camera. Pardon its intrusion, but I wanted a really good shot in here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So this guy's just gonna be hanging out with me for now. We've got our emulsified garlic. It's going right into the processor. It's a really good idea to start with juice from refrigerated lemons, because that cold juice will help to keep your emulsion strong. Things tend to heat up in a food processor Heat can break a sauce, so cold lemons are the best idea to start with. I've also reserved a little bit of lemon juice that we're gonna add halfway through the process just to help cool things down and smooth them out so we don't end up with any breakage. Top goes on. You pull out that middle part and you're gonna add your oil through there. We have to add it in a slow, steady stream. You can use whatever vessel you want. I find these squeeze bottles work really well for giving a slow, steady stream. If you add oil too quickly, your sauce will break because you're forming bonds, putting energy in and forming chemical bonds. So you have to do that slowly, otherwise the sauce will split. Also, if you don't want it to splash back at you, things can splash out of here. Take a little funnel, put it on there, it keeps it from splashing in your face. That's just a little trick that you learn over time when you get garlic in your eyeballs over and over again. All right, so we are gonna start our food processor up. We're gonna add half of our oil first, then we're gonna stop and we're gonna add the rest of our lemon juice, and then we will add the other half of our oil. Everything is added while it's running, and you'll see the slow, steady stream that I use. It will take a total of about 7 minutes to emulsify in all of our oil. Slow, steady stream, just like I said. All right, that was half our oil. Let's stop down for a second, take a look, see what we got. Looking good. You can see we have an emulsified sauce. This is creamy and white. It's not split into oil and lemon juice, but it's not thick yet. It thickens as we add more oil. First, we're gonna add in our reserved lemon juice, and I'm gonna refill this bottle, and we're gonna do another bottle's worth of oil, and we'll be done. Oil's refilled. We're gonna go with our processor running, always running, lemon juice first, then the rest of the oil. Let's see what we got. Beautiful, fluffy, cloud-like, jiggly consistency. Exactly what we wanted from this sauce. It really is kind of like a miracle of nature that just some garlic with some lemon and oil can emulsify into that cloud-like, pillowy, such a delicious sauce. Let me give it a little taste. You do want to give this a chance to mingle. It takes an hour in the fridge for it to cool down, which is very important to setting the emulsion. Like I said, heat is the enemy. Let's give it a taste right now. Oh man, you guys, it's such a killer sauce. Like I said, it's crazy that just some garlic oil and lemon can make that emulsion, but the flavor that you get from just some garlic oil and lemon, it's out of this world. It's just like, it's just filling up your senses, that wonderful garlicky flavor, a little hint of lemon. It's balanced nicely with the salt and that little pinch of sugar, and it's gonna go so well on so many things. I'm gonna get this into a bowl, cover it up, pop it in the fridge for an hour, and we're gonna move on to my crushable Toum. So the secret to my crushable Toum is that we're gonna blanch our garlic before we make our sauce. Blanching garlic softens the flavors a little bit, and depending on the time you take to blanch it, it will soften more and more. I find somewhere between 1 and 5 minutes is where you wanna be. For me, my preference is 3 minutes. I think that softens it just enough, but leaves you with a good garlic flavor. You might be someone that wants it to be a little bit stronger than that, so you might go 1 or 2 minutes, or you might be someone that wants to go all the way to the 5 minutes and make it very mild, although I find 5 minutes to make it a little bit on the boring side. If you're someone like me that makes this sauce again and again, you're gonna try different times and you'll dial it into your liking, but start with 3 minutes. I think that's a good place to be. So we have some boiling water, we'll get that going, and an ice bath. I'm gonna boil this for 3 minutes, hit it in my ice bath to shock it, stop the cooking, and then we will move on to making our sauce. We don't have wine today, we're drinking beer, and I am drinking Pilsner Urquell. That is a Czech Pilsner. It is actually the beer that founded the style of Pilsner. Some of the best Pilsners in the world come from what is now called Czechia. I just remembered, my wife's laughing. Not the Czech Republic anymore, it's now called Czechia, but Pilsner Urquell is a great classic Pilsner. 3 minutes is up. Let's get this in an ice bath. couple minutes to cool completely while we set up our processor again, and we'll be ready to go. From here on in, the process is almost exactly the same with one caveat. When you blanch garlic, you take away some of its emulsifying properties. So we're gonna have to make up for that, and we are gonna make up for it with an egg white. An egg white will bring emulsifying properties back into this garlic. It's not gonna add anything flavor-wise. It's not gonna add anything color-wise. The sauce will seem exactly the same. We're just bringing those emulsifying properties back into the garlic because we took them out with the blanching step. Now, I'm personally just using a normal egg here. If you are feeding a pregnant woman, a young child, a person with a compromised immune system, get pasteurized eggs for this. You don't want to use raw eggs if you're feeding someone that is in a danger zone like that. I've eaten raw egg a million times and I've never had a problem with it, so I'm just going to use a regular egg myself. And then everything else is pretty much the same. We got our salt, a little bit of sugar, our lemon juice. On our second addition of lemon juice on this one, I add a little bit more lemon. It just makes up for the fact that that egg white kind of waters things down a little bit. So a little more lemon on that last hit, but right now it's the exact same amount. Got that emulsion going. Let's move on to our food processor. That's half our oil. Let's give it a check. Beautiful, beautiful emulsion. You can see with that egg white, we're already starting to get fluffy, even though all our oil isn't in. Gonna add that little bit of extra lemon and then finish our oil. All right, let's take a look. I still had a half a cup of oil left here. This is a good example of knowing what you're looking at when you're making an emulsified sauce. I am seeing superb thickness right now. If you take an emulsified sauce past a certain level of thickness, you keep adding oil, that can cause it to break. So I'm looking at this, and you know, every nature's a little different, every egg's a little different, every lemon's a little different. I'm seeing the thickness that I want. I'm gonna hold off on that last half cup of oil, and it's gonna give us a perfect sauce that doesn't split. So keep an eye on your sauce, you know, check it every once in a while. If it gets to a thickness like that, you know it's good. You can stop adding your oil. We are set, guys. We are ready to go. We have got our crushable Toum and our traditional Toum, and I am so excited for this taste. I got a bunch of stuff here. I got some basic veggies to taste it with. I've got a takeout gyro here because we haven't done our gyro recipe yet. We're doing that next week because we're waiting for better weather, because we're going to do it over the campfire. It's going to be a campfire cooking series, and we're making campfire gyros. They're going to be so awesome. So I got a takeout gyro right here, and then I have my oven fried buffalo wings, which I will link at the end of this to this recipe. These are fantastic. I made them for the Super Bowl and everybody went nuts. They go great with Toum. So let's get started. Let me just start out with a quick tasting of each one. So we'll start original, the traditional. I mean, you guys, it's the world's most underrated condiment. It is so good. It's so garlicky and lemony and fluffy and creamy. It's hard to believe it can do all those things at once, but it does. It does all that stuff. And it's turning a carrot into something amazing. This is your new ranch dressing. If you're one of those people that wants to put ranch on everything, this is taking it to the next level. It's like the best version of something that you can dip veggies in, you can put on your wings, you can put on your shawarma. Now, we're gonna go with the crushable, because that was very strong. I'm gonna eat a bunch of that, but I'm gonna smell like garlic for days. But with the crushable, let's get a taste. See, that is doing something that no other Toum can do. It's bringing all this flavor. You still got the garlic, you still got the lemon, you still got the fluffiness. But when I taste it, my palate isn't overwhelmed with garlic, which means I'm not gonna smell like garlic for days. Also, I can put more of it on my food, and you are gonna wanna do that because it's so good. And it's gonna balance out a little bit better with the other flavors of the food. Not that this one has anything wrong with it, it's just gonna be less overwhelming. So you can use more, it's not gonna overwhelm the other flavors. And it's just such a good idea. Crushable Toum. No one else is doing that, and it's awesome. Let's get to putting it on some food, huh? So I think for my gyro, I'm gonna go crushable on my gyro so I can put a lot of sauce on there, especially since this takeout spot didn't give me much sauce on my gyro. I probably won't be going back to them, but I'm gonna put a lot of my crushable on here so I can get this nice and saucy. And then I'm gonna use my traditional for my wing dip. So a little bit stronger. Obviously it's making up for blue cheese. Let's go with this. It's a good thing we're using the crushable because I loaded that guy up, slathered in sauce. Let's give her a try. It's freaking crazy. It's freaking crazy how good that gyro is. This is a takeout gyro and it's not the highest quality one I've gotten here in New York City, but wow, when you load that Toum onto it, it's just like creamy, garlicky. It doesn't overwhelm the flavor of the meat. I can still taste that lamb and all of its spices. The cucumber and the tomatoes still come through and they're matched beautifully by this sauce. It just matches with everything. This sauce can go with anything. It can go with meat. It can go with vegetables. It goes with breads. Like I said, it's one of my favorite secret pizza sauces. When I'm making my Neapolitan pizzas in the backyard with my wood-fired oven, I'll do Toum versions, Toum sauce versions, and people go crazy for them. It goes so well with everything. The only thing you can't put it on is your dessert. At least I haven't figured that one out yet, but wow, does it elevate this takeout gyro. All right, so that's the crushable. We are gonna go full test, full bore traditional with our wings. Get a little dip on there. I mean, you guys, it's unbelievable. It's so good. It takes a buffalo wing, which is one of nature's most perfect foods, and it takes it to the next level. Like, it just brings this garlicky punch, that high test full garlic version, this garlicky punch that matches so beautifully with that spiciness and that richness of a buffalo sauce. I mean, if you thought ranch or blue cheese on a wing was the way to go, you haven't tried Toum. That's the best buffalo wing. That's the best buffalo wing you can eat. I love it. I love buffalo wings so much. This is the only thing I can think of that could improve upon the classic buffalo wing. Whenever I make wings, I almost always go straight buffalo style because I love the classic. This takes it up another notch. I mean, there it is, guys. Toum, the most underrated condiment of all time. Simple to make, 4 ingredients, 5 if you add my little pinch of sugar. It takes about 10 minutes to throw it together. The way I showed you to do that emulsion at the beginning, it makes it so easy. Your sauce is not gonna break like it does with so many of these other styles of recipes where it just doesn't work out that well. I took a long time to make this as easy as possible and delicious as possible. I think you guys are gonna love it. I think it's gonna be your new ranch dressing. It's gonna be the best condiment you ever had. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the flip side. I'm gonna eat some more wings.